Be prepared for highly offensive language throughout and adult and sexual themes. Listen, it's never too early for a toast. I love a Bucks Fizz. Listen, I just want to say you have been a beacon of light this series. You have just been such... I mean, you've been an amazing housemate, we all know that. And you're just so amazing. I mean, you make everyone feel so good about themselves. And do you know what, babe? You really are 1 in a million. You really are. Here's to you. You deserve it. It's time for Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. With you, Island Club Neil. Thank you. There you go, after a battle of...
Corrie versus Boysen.
We've got our 5 finalists. Just 4 weeks ago, 8 female housemates ushered in the year of the woman, and now just 2 remain. But are they the ones we expected to be there? And what about the men folk? I mean, Wayne's a lovely drunk, isn't he? He loves it. He just loves it. We're going to be asking all these important, hard-hitting questions a bit more later on in the show. And in the year that we celebrate girl power, we have invited back one of the all-time greats. Who is she? Nikki Graham is back! Yes! On BT. The original grumpy young woman will tell us the story of the series, but now they didn't quite get their fairy tale ending, but they all live happily ever after on the Bots panel. That's what they all do, guys. So, unicorn onesies, riding ponies. She was such a strong and stable housemate. She should run for our Prime Minister. It is the gorgeous Ashley! We know she can keep up with the Kardashians, but that is a walk in the park compared to 4 weeks with the Widdicombe. Am I right? Give it up for Malika! And this spring goddess has played Cleopatra, Alma from Corrie, Phil and/or Bev from Bad Girls, and now Celebrity Big Brother style icon. In fact, the song Pop Your Collar was actually written about her. It is. It's the legend. It is Amanda Barry. She might not have been a housemate, but she's lived through their dramas every step of the way, every minute of every hour of every day of... This will go on. Actually, we only have her on Thursdays. We can only afford her once a week. We've let her out of the home on special release just for a Wednesday. It's the amazing Trisha Goddard! I mean, what a panel over there. Malika, let me come to you first, gorgeous. You're looking amazing, may I just say. All 3 of you are. How much have you enjoyed having a bit of freedom back? How's your day been?
You know, I have done everything all at the exact same time. I'm like confusing myself. I'm like on the phone, playing music, the television is on, and I don't care that I can't focus because there's so much going on. I have enjoyed it.
Ashley, I have got to ask, how was your first night out?
It was amazing. I spent it with my favourite musketeer, and we drank red wine till about 5 in the morning, and that was with Malika. We had a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Anything else?
Sadly, I haven't seen him yet.
Oh! I was sitting there thinking I was going to get hacked. I thought I'd have all the gossip from you today.
Sorry.
That's all right. You've still got 2 days yet, girl. Amanda, I've got to ask you, and I genuinely got in bed last night and thought this. No, not like that. I got in bed last night and I thought, I wonder if Amanda's gone home and served a plate of chocolate biscuits to Hillary. Like, out of the habit. How has it been being back with your heels?
It was
unbelievably good.
Oh.
And also, my dog, who normally jumps up all over the place at everybody, she was next door, and they brought her in, and instead of her doing a leap up, she went, oh. We've never heard her do it,
Well, she's probably seen you for the last 4 weeks on the telly and then gone, oh, I can actually touch you now. What's going on?
Right.
Oh, bless her.
It was lovely.
Trisha, I want to come to you. I know I don't want things to get awkward in here, but I mean, are any of these three, are you gutted that they're here? Should any of these ones been in the final, in your opinion?
Yes.
Malika.
No.
Malika.
Trisha's a brave woman, you know what I mean?
Let me just say, they put me up to that. That's an extra. That's on my bill. But I would rather they're here with us.
Yeah? Is that just your way of getting out of the question?
That's my way of getting out of the question.
I'm also. Right, listen, let's talk about tonight's show. And it ended, actually, with Anne in the diary room admitting she's surprised that she's in the final herself. Malika, I can't imagine you come across many Anne Widdecombe types over in Hollywood, but has her popularity, I mean, now you're out, has her popularity with the voting public shocked you in any way that she's still in there?
No, because this is Anne's country, and what I've learned early about her was that she has set many things and historically that no one will ever forget. So whatever they may have learned about her that even I disliked while I was in the house with her, it doesn't erase her history. So people still acknowledging that by keeping her in, I think it speaks to her contribution.
Well, I mean, she actually reeled off a few of her highlights of her CV. She said the scourge of political correctness, the defender of the unborn, the first of her name, and the mother of oh, maybe not the last two. Trisha, has reaching the final for Anne maybe given her the confidence that maybe some of her views might be popular with viewers in any way?
I don't think Anne gives a toss one. But here's the thing. What I think is going to happen is going to be really interesting because she had that chat with Ashley when she said she was happy as a singleton on her own. And if you notice her body language, she just paused. Now, she's trotted out that line time and time again. I'm going to tell you, she's going to find it difficult going back to that lifestyle because for the first time she's mixed with real people.
I think she will as well. Let's move over to Courtney, actually, because Wayne had a word of advice for Courtney, saying keep it fun and don't victimise the situation. And by situation, you could easily read Anne. Ashley, do you think this is good advice on Wayne's part, telling that to Courtney, or do you think Wayne should just leave Courtney to do what she does?
Do you know what's interesting? Watching it as a viewer, I agree with Courtney, Shane. I really do. Like, we have the same opinions and we don't stand for what Anne stands with. But as a housemate, and this is
Don't worry about them, they're just happy to be out.
as a housemate, and I kept saying to Shane, Shane's my friend, but I did keep saying to him, if you want to speak to Anne, go and speak to Anne, because where my opinion changed of Anne, when I said, I feel like you pick on me and you're mean and all of these things, she took every point that I said and she explained it to me. And after that, I thought, do you know what? I will never change that woman's opinion, and I never will. I would love to change her opinion. And when she spoke up about things that I disagreed with, like gay marriage, which I think everyone who is in love should be married.
Amen.
So when we spoke about it, I spoke up. But also, I lived there for a month. I don't want to argue every day. That's not who I am, and that's not what I'm about. And I learned to see the good in her, because I think everybody has good in them, and you can't treat hate with hate. You have to treat hate with love.
I totally get what you're saying, and the weird thing is, though, Courtney's response was that it's actually important to challenge Anne on some of it, not Annika, Anne, for some of her views. They could have a bad effect on young viewers watching at home, struggling with their sexuality. Amanda, I know you've been Team Anne. You found a friend in there and you got on very, very well with her. But as someone...
Well, I was sharing a room with her.
Yeah, exactly. But as someone like myself, you know, who's in a really happy same-sex marriage and stuff like that, can you understand where Courtney is coming from, saying, you know, I'm in a position in the LGBT community where I can have these chats, show that I'm confident and you can be happy in yourself, and try and have these chats with Anne and challenge some of her views?
100%. 100%. But you just had to say it to the person. Not just Anne, any single person. I don't like labels over people. You put a label over them, and then you judge the whole person. There may be all sorts of other reasons for things. If you meet the person, and if you at least give them a chance. Don't just say, oh well, I don't like. I mean, nobody could be at further ends of the scale on politics, on sexuality, on almost everything, religion, than
With
me.
you and Anne. Yeah, I know.
I'm over here somewhere.
I know.
I mean, like over and out and beyond. But actually, sorry.
Put that straight jacket on properly, Amanda.
Can I just quickly say...
But being with her and meeting her as a person, I got very fond of her.
You become fond of her as a person.
As a person.
Definitely, and that doesn't necessarily
And also-
reflect on her views that she
No,
has.
and there's not one tiny bit of Widdicombe that has rubbed off on me.
No, and I think we know that. I mean, she'd never be seen dead in that jacket for a start. Let me tell her.
Can I just
Ashley, what
quickly
did you
say
want
as
to say,
well?
Dave?
And this is
why I rubbed a bit off on her, that's all.
This
I
is
don't
to
know why I
the
put it on.
detriment of my own intelligence, but when I heard Anne Widdecombe was coming in, I thought it was the presenter of The Weakest Link. So I didn't know anything about her, whereas...
I've got to move on from this because this is... Anne Robinson is literally ringing us as we speak. I really hope when Anne Widdecombe leaves on Friday, she goes, goodbye, and just walks out. I'm really just for the lols. Let's go on to the Year of the Woman. Let's talk about the Year of the Woman debate now, and watch out, Ruth Langsford. I mean, Woody's after your job along with these lot. And made it clear that she feels sex on TV is moral anarchy. Now, Tricia, you've overseen much of this moral anarchy over your years on TV in your time. What did you make of that statement?
I agree with it, but not for obvious reasons. I think if you're going to have sex on television, go into the porno trade and get a really good wage for it. All I'm saying is no contract, and you know I'm a producer, I make programmes, TV shows as well. No contract I've ever issued or ever seen has adequately compensated someone for having sex on TV, except for in the porno industry. So why not make it a living?
Well, maybe they obviously don't want to make it a living. But
Well,
if there's two housemates that obviously like each other in that... Look, Ashley,
should-
obviously you dealt with your relationships, we say, with Genuine, a very different way to maybe as we've seen in previous... Stop it! In previous series, and obviously nothing happened with you two, but I mean, if something did happen with you two in the house, I don't think people would say, oh, she should go into porn. Do you know what I mean?
And do you know what, as well? I would
Relationship.
say that I didn't have sex with Genuine because I knew I was in a bubble, and so I wanted him. I want to be treated. I want to know that I can trust someone. That's the first thing. But also, I will say in defence, and I wish I knew that Jess had sex on TV because I said I don't judge anyone. If I knew that I had to defend that poor girl, I would have, because she openly admits she was very vulnerable through her experiences, and I think it isn't.
But here you go. It's only because you had that debate from watching from outside, it's only because it came up that she could address that. And we saw scenes when she was on her own, when it really hit her about what she'd done. Now, if you leap to someone's defence immediately, they don't get to go through that journey of self-discovery, which she did.
Yeah.
So it actually did her a great favour and allowed her to change her opinions of her behaviour.
And do you know
I just
what?
wish I could have given her a hug.
Exactly, and I think a lot of people would have said that as well.
Yeah.
No, Amanda, you said that as well. But I think at the end of the day, whether you're someone who is gone in a reality show and you've met someone in there or anything like that, if you want to have sex, go for it, girl. I don't mind. It's entirely up to you. Do you know what I mean? You do what you want to do. All right, after the break, I've got all the latest news from the house, including the return of some old friends. Did you say? And for the first and last time this series, it's Trisha Tuesday on a Thursday, and it's now on a Wednesday, dear. Yes, that's right. She's going to be reflecting on our finalists' defining moments. And do you know what? After that chat, I think my defining moment is probably right now. See you straight after the break. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Actually, do you know what? I've been thinking about Wayne's story. You know how he met Jose? Hi, Jose, by the way. You know he met Jose near the holiday home he bought from Sean Connery? Yeah. Well, actually, he's not the only one who can name drop. I've got my own little home away from home in the foothills of Bognor Regis. Yeah. Lovely little static caravan I bought from the Crankies. There you go. Not the only one. Not the only one, yeah? Them wolves could talk. They're terrible. All right, stay tuned for Nikki Graham's revealing reading of the Year of the Woman. But now it is time for tomorrow's headlines in today's Boss News. OK, top stories tonight. Genuine returns the names to tease and reveals all to Shane J. And Daniel takes over the diary room. First up at 10:20 this morning, the housemates were treated to a rippling display of dance, care of Genuine.
Housemates, wake up. You're now tuned into the best radio show you've ever heard. Genuine Radio.
No shit.
Shane J, how you doing, my boy? Shane there, get up, boy.
That's so weird.
And how you doing?
I like you, but not first thing in the morning.
And I love you, and I have a treat for you guys.
I don't want it now.
You want it?
Yeah. Not now.
And
Not now. I'll have it
not
later.
now. I want to give y'all something special as well. Okay?
Pancakes.
Thank you.
Oh wow.
Let's go. Little souvenir for you, Wayne.
Wayne nearly knocked Jess out to get hold of that swear facility, oh yes. Next, calm yourselves, ladies, please. Next up at 12:11, Anne confesses to Shane J about a Courtney-induced fantasy she's had.
What? I was actually having a fantasy the other day that I really was a grandmother and my grandson was bringing home his intended. And I peeked out through the lace curtains and there walking up the garden path was Courtney.
Well, just know that under the superficial exterior is me.
Yeah, that's fine. Well,
Yeah.
I never think of you as Courtney. Never. Courtney doesn't exist. There is no Courtney.
She exists to me.
Well, if you'd asked me 29 days ago if I ever wanted to hear Anne Widdecombe's fantasies, it would have been a hell no. Do you know what I mean? And at 4:40, Daniel was in control of the diary room, and believe me, he was asking the big questions.
Would you rather marry Andrew or win CBB?
Well, I don't want to marry Andrew unless Andrew wants to marry me. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a crush on him, but it's not like debilitating, you know, unrequited love. I just think he's a really great guy. Like, we're friends and we get on. I would hop on the good foot and do the bad thing with him, but I think that that's in his court. The balls are in his court.
But I do need a definitive answer. Would you rather marry Andrew or win CBB? Come on, we all know what the answer is.
I'd rather marry Andrew.
Don't lie to me!
I would.
No!
Love is forever.
Yeah, but winning CBB is sweet as well.
I'd happily be non-sexual life partners with Andrew. There you go.
That's lovely. Boring, but lovely.
Oh, it's adorable. Oh. And that was today's Celeb Box News. Right, in less than 48 hours, either Anne, Jess, Shane J, Shane L or Wayne will walk out of that house as your winner of Celebrity Big Brother 2018. So with that in mind, it's time for the final chapter of... Ladies and gentlemen, give up for Trisha! So love you. So bloody love you. I'll let it ride. I'll let it ride. Now I'm over it. Listen, we are down to our final five.
Yes.
So I personally think we should take a little nostalgic and poignant look back at their time in the house, like the defining moments, if you will. So let's start with Jess. So this is the Year of the Woman. After all, she was the first woman. Hang on, no, she was the first woman through to the final. What would you say is her defining moment of the series?
I think the fact that she found she could sit down and talk with Anne and with Rachel, with women she probably normally wouldn't have come across, and got another view in life.
I think we've actually got a clip of this, actually. Let's have another look at it.
What you have done is taught me an insight to things I never, ever would have got the chance to learn about. And you haven't made me feel stupid or small about anything.
Oh, thank you.
You've made me... In fact, you made me feel more confident about talking about it, and that's a lovely thing for me.
Great.
And I'll appreciate that forever.
And that is quite nice as a viewer to see, to be perfectly honest. What are you getting from that?
What I love about this is in that scene you saw there and throughout the series, Jess has found her inner grown-up, if you like, and Anne has found her inner child. There's actually a bit of a trade-off there. Anne has learned how to play, and Jess has learned how to be grown up in a true, maturing way.
Do you think it was like a swapsy?
Yeah, swapsy.
Go on, have a little swapsy. Let's move on to Wayne. He was the first man that got through to the final. What do you think his defining moment is?
I have a real soft spot for Wayne.
Oh, wow. I wonder why.
No, his dancing and his sense of fun, but he wasn't afraid to have a real heart-to-heart with Shane, Jay, and warn him that maybe he was going on a little bit too much. I love the discussion between the two of them.
Well, listen, here he is, actually, in the diary room with that nom he did after that.
He made me feel inadequate and that I hadn't spoken out for all the gays of the world. And I feel that he shouldn't be in a position to be able to tell me what to say. And I am not going to be influenced to speak out about something I know very little about.
Now, this has been a really big talking point outside of the house. I mean, we've all been talking about it for weeks now. Where did you stand on all of this? What did you make of that?
Of the discussions? I think all of the discussions are good. I don't think there's been good and bad. I actually think we have to realise there are a hell of a lot of people out there who think like Anne, whether you like it or not. And you might not like it, but when she put something forward and somebody else challenged it, it was a conversation we should be having nationally, internationally, and I'm in favour of anything that stirs that up. Rather it be out in the open than hidden away.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the discussions about the series have been amazing. We've just spoke about her, so let's talk about Anne. What do you think Anne's defining moment of the series has been?
Oh, it's got to be when she got in the hot tub.
Really?
And I've said this all the way through the series, watching her from the point of view of people and relationships has been fascinating. We started off with a woman who could not even hug another human being. This series will have messed with her psyche and made her more human, and I think she really has learned to play and enjoy herself.
Yeah, it does seem like this week she's started to come out of her shell a bit. I mean, that in the hot tub was a first for Big Brother, for telly, for the nation. Why do you think that was her defining moment for you?
That was really breaking out of the mould. And I think Amanda said it so well in the series. She said that people build walls around themselves and have very rigid rules. That is how you create walls when, maybe to keep people out. If you're a little bit frightened or wary of the rest of the world, those walls started to come down in this series. And I think it's been fascinating.
And do you know what? I've got to say, I think all of the housemates played a part in that with every single one of them.
All of the housemates, in accommodating her, in actually challenging her sometimes, in laughing with her. I really got the feeling that Anne has been included in a way that she possibly has never felt included before.
Fair point.
That's a great gift from the house, from the guests.
Let's move on to the first of our Shanes in the final. Let's talk about Shane J / Courtney. I'm going to miss doing that slash, I tell you. What would you say is his or her defining moment? Shut up!
So many defining moments, but I think when Andrew left the house, that's got to be one of them, and Courtney's very emotive reaction to that.
Let's have a reminder of that.
Andrew.
I don't think you ever think that you're going to make a strong connection with somebody. I don't even like, it's not even something that you're hopeful for. It just kind of comes along and like smacks you in the face. And when it does, it's like the most magical thing. It feels so warm and lovely. And I really think that that's the sort of thing that life is made for.
So, Trisha, what are you making of that moment? Why did you choose that one?
I have to say that I actually started, I think Andrew left at a good moment because all the scenes we were seeing were the two of them together and it tended to be dragging Courtney down.
Drag, lol.
Yes, drag. But I have to say that Shane/Courtney is one of the most fascinating characters we've ever had in the Big Brother. And I've just got to say, in Australia, we've just had Australia Day. We've just had Australia Day in Australia. And I've got to say that Shane is a fantastic ambassador for Australia.
Yeah, I think Shane J's been a great housemate as well.
Great
Let's move on to the other Shane, Shane L. What was his defining moment, do you think?
I love Shane L because I've been on the panel with him. I've met him a number of times, but I've got to say his defining moment was actually being nominated because it reminded me he was there. Bless him.
Oh, Trisha!
I love him. I love him. He's a solid, lovely guy, but boy, has he been in the background, and that's what he was nominated for.
He has been in the background, to be fair, but do you think, in a way, that's him? That's who he is?
It is him. He's the solid, behind, you know, he'd be a great dad to have, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he comes across such a lovely guy. He really, really does. Well, listen, it has been the utmost pleasure to have you this series. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Trisha Goddard, everyone. Right, coming up, I get to play with my giant typewriter as Amanda, Ashley and Malika have their right to reply. And Nikki Graham opens the CBB storybook in time for Betty Buys. So don't go anywhere and we'll see you after the break. Thank you so much. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Still to come, we're going to give our 3 evictees their right to reply. But now it's time to head over to their old stomping ground for an exclusive. And as part of this task, India's got news for Anne.
So what's your views on spending money on gender reassignment, Anne?
You heard my views, and at the time you ostensibly agreed with them. That when Ashley said to you it should be the most important thing, I said, hey, what about people going blind? Somebody else said, what about kids with cancer? So there are priorities and limited resources.
So while I respect your priorities, Anne, they're not the same as everyone else's, and certainly not for my demographic.
Apparently, they weren't entirely endorsed by the public either, but never mind.
Well, that's probably because most of the public don't have gender dysphoria, Anne.
Well, thank heavens.
Thank heavens, did you just say?
Well, yes, wouldn't it be terrible if the whole population was suffering from something? Wouldn't you think that was horrible? I mean, thank heavens they don't all have...
All right, as long as you didn't mean thank heavens that, you know...
India, if you can take offence, you'll always take offence and you'll always read something into what is being said.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Why don't you go back to reading the news instead?
Bernie. Malika, let me come to you. Your face during that was like...
I don't hide much.
No!
And as my Botox is wearing off, I'm showing it.
I hear you.
You know, I know what it's like to have a conversation with India and have her be 100% agreeable and then turn around and change that entire thing. I never asked for Anne's opinion in anything, and I never shared my opinion of her. That was something I chose not to do. But in the interest of you just not wanting to fight with someone, you can't sit there and say that Anne is being, you know, selfish or not standing up for someone. She said, I'm speaking about priorities. And she didn't say, you know what I mean? She didn't say, it may not be what she agrees upon, which she always owns, but she said, I believe there are other priorities for children that are sick that had nothing to do with Anne. That's not her being selfish, that's her opinion.
Well, do you know what? I think tomorrow night's main show is definitely not going to be one to miss. But as you've known, this series, it's been quite an historic one of Celebrity Big Brother. I think you'll all agree. So we asked an actual historic figure to sum it all up, it's not Joan of Arc, she's not, she's not been watching, but someone equally as inspiring. I give you the final story on the side with the legend that is Nikki Graham.
Hello, everyone. It's time for another story on the side with me, Nikki Graham. Well, my dear viewers, we've only 2 days to go until the final of this spectacular game show.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations. The Year of the Woman has, for good reason, truly been a proper vintage season.
What a load of bollocks.
A cross-section of celeb society living with each other's improprieties. Stereotypes have been obliterated. Women's lib, gay rights, religion, and all thoroughly debated.
Would you pose naked tonight?
I have done. I know, look at
and debated.
I will call silence, and then, yes, I will break wind, and they find it the most hilarious thing ever.
We've had a few liaisons, but nothing naughty seems to have gone on. Genuine and Aisling held hands now and then, but I don't think we'll be seeing kid number 10.
Yes!
Were Shane and Andrew real? It's difficult to say. But one thing's for sure, Andrew truly isn't gay.
Do you know if Courtney didn't have a dick, I'd go to town on that.
Wee Wayne's sleep and his not-so-wee bits. No! And Rachel's obsession with India's tits.
They're fantastic.
Maggie being switched in for the save and replace. I'm shocked they could even look her in the face.
I'm sorry, Max. That had to be somebody.
It's fine. The housemates have performed as classic girl bands, but Anne wasn't happy with the plans. Among the 5 housemates who now remain is one who will take the CBB reins.
Yay! Much obliged.
For them, things have just intensified. And who will win, you wonder? Well, it's you who will decide. Good night.
You got my girl, could you? Thank you, Nikki. She's such a gifted storyteller. Now, should we check in on the dear little finalists, see how they're getting along? Yeah, it's time for my favourite part of the show, the bot scam, everybody. Now, listen, no, hold on. No. I'm sure you all know the team here really do value viewer opinions about the show, and any feedback is gratefully received. And I've just been told we've had a viewer tweet in about the bot scam. John at Light Up the Bee says, LMFAO, can't believe they brought the terrible hashtag CBB bot scam back. I laugh every time. Well, do you know what, darling? You can laugh all you want, because where else do you get exclusives like this? Yeah! Look! Yes! You do not get this on the main show. You can treat me however you want, but you don't get this on the main show. Can I get an amen? Thank you. But they can't all take home the crown. So I just get very defensive over the bot scam, I really do. And as ever, you know what I'm about to say. Who wins? You decide! You decide. This week, Anne, Jess, Shane J or Courtney, Shane L and Wayne all face the public vote. Who wins? You decide. From a landline, call 090 20 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to win. From a mobile, call 6 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to win. For Anne, add 03. For Jess, add 08. For Shane J or Courtney, add 14. For Shane L, add 15. For Wayne, add 16. Calls to the long number will cost 50p plus your network access charge. Calls to the short number will cost 50p. Voting closes in Friday's live final. Votes cast after lines close won't count. If you're watching on catch-up after that or outside the UK, please don't vote. You can find terms on the Big Brother website. side, right, there are 5 very important people we need to discuss, and I'm not talking about the Spice Girls. I'm Jerry! But our finalists. Now, since we're not biased on this show, we're going to go through each housemate alphabetically, obviously starting with Wayne. I'm joking, that's alphabet lowest, yeah? We're going to start with Anne, one of only 2 women that are left in the house. Now, as we know, this isn't Anne's first time at the reality rodeo. Oh, no, because her list of credits speak for themselves. Strictly, she's done. Sugar-Free Farm. Who's doing the dishes with Brian McFadden? Yeah, she's done them all. She knows exactly where them cameras are, and she likes to talk to them. Now, Amanda, I want to come to you for this one. Is she more at ease at this situation than she's maybe letting on? She's done a few of these shows before.
I think she must be, yes.
Whoa!
Yeah. I think she must be, definitely. I didn't know how many she'd done.
Oh, she's been about. She loves it. She loves it. And
she's been all over the place. What? Yeah.
To be honest, though, to go on, I hate to use the word, but journey. I mean, it's to have a revelation.
I hate that
Don't we all?
word.
We all hate that word. But it's to have a bit of a revelation, have an epiphany. Anne, on the other hand, she is completely unwavering in her beliefs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trisha, do you think, with that in mind, she's ever been on a journey, or is she just, this is my route?
No, she has been on, I hate that word, journey. And I was just saying in the commercial break to Malika, she actually helped start that off. When she did Anne's hair, right at the end, she put her hands on Anne's shoulders. Up until that time, she felt very uncomfortable with human contact. And we often use that as a method in mental health, getting through to people who've got difficulties. And Malika did it subconsciously. And I saw the change from then on in. So her...
Malika changed Anne with it.
All the housemates did. But I think Anne actually has got more out of this than she realised she would.
Well, let's move on to our other female finalist, Jess. Of all the finalists, we've got to ask this question. Do you think she's been on the biggest J word, Jess, maybe, after tonight's show?
Yes. Yeah, I think Jess has been on a bit of a journey because I think she got a bad rap on the last few shows she's been on. So I think this one has been a bit nicer for her because she's met people of a different age group. Yeah. You know, she's been able to portray herself differently.
She's had
and
conversations.
Yeah, and she's not had to sort of do that expectant role of what young people are expected to do. She's just been able to just be on the show too.
Watch out, Trisha. She's after your job. Quite an item, that was. Malika, Jess hasn't received one single nomination throughout the entire series, and that's really, really rare. Why do you think Jess hasn't got any nominations this series?
I mean, up until we were evicted last night, you really don't know what people will do or who will vote for you, who will save you. It is a fact. We've all said it. Even Amanda mentioned it when we were still in the house. But Jess does really have a playful nature about her that really isn't threatening to anyone. I think anyone that truly pays attention to Jess, you'll either protect her, nurture her, or encourage her. So that's not really someone, while you're on the journey with her to do so, you don't really want to push her in a direction that says that she's not doing something that is supposed to help her. You don't want to do the opposite.
Well, I mean, good luck to her. She didn't receive one nom this series. That is really rare. Let's move on to Shane J / Courtney. In both guises, though, he/she has been central to so many memorable moments in the house. John, don't make me come home. Ashley, do you think with Shane J that you can divide his time in the house with sort of having those two parts, being Shane J in certain situations, being Courtney in other situations? Do you think that's played to his advantage, do you think?
Well, even for me, I felt like I had a friend and I felt like I had a big sister, and I've learned so much about makeup from it. So, yeah, I think Shane J and Courtney, they are 2 people and 2 amazing people.
But, I mean, look, we've spoken about it. We're going to keep talking about it. They've both had conversations with Anne who have been constant, obviously, throughout the series. Anne hasn't changed her views at all. Amanda, let's look at it from the other side. What do you think Shane J or Courtney might have learned from Anne? Oh, how long you got? Oh.
Well, no, I'm far more in Shane J's thinking. I mean, that is, I would be on that side of the fence. I mean, obviously, I don't know. What?
Oh, when you went into the bathroom and you attacked Shane saying that he was unprofessional. I said, no, wait, let me finish, please. It's when you attacked.
God, she's got
no,
her
please,
out. Oh,
Amanda, I love you as a. You were a fantastic.
Sorry.
Hurry up, John, I got it. Right, when you attacked saying that Shane was being unprofessional when you
didn't attack him.
it wasn't. That was an act. He's a drag queen, he's a performer. That was part of
drag
a
queens, darling. I've worked with them
Amanda,
like that.
go on.
All right. So I think probably they both picked a little bit up. I don't think either of them will change. And I don't see why anybody should change in the first place.
He's not the only Shane, though. Let's talk about Shane Lynch. Tonight, Shane said it's been a struggle in there, but he has enjoyed the challenge. What do we think Shane's brought to the house?
Colourful, humanitarian, just saying it how it is. He's real. I love him.
Decent.
Decent. I really
Ashley, Shane-Elle.
I felt so guilty when I nominated him, to the extent that I rang for the diary room again because I wanted to change it. And the only thing is, I had to pick someone, and I thought, who would I want to be in the final with? And he's the person I bonded with the least. However, I think he's wonderful, and I wish that I could only speak when I had something relevant to say.
I get what you're saying there. Let's play, last by no means least, let's move on to Wayne from his tappy little feet to his name. Trisha, has he just been lording it up in there? He's just gone in there as Wayne Sleep, and he's just been Wayne Sleep.
Wayne, yes, I absolutely agree. Wayne is Wayne. And here's something that's been really evident during this fantastic series, I've got to say. When you get... As Amanda will no doubt agree, when you get to a certain age, she said, just having turned 60.
Amen.
When you get to a certain age, you are strong in who you are. You're less likely to change who you are. And we really saw that with Amanda, with Wayne, and with Anne. Sad but true, we know who we are. And if if you're still looking for yourself at this age, you ain't gonna find yourself.
Right, Amanda, Malika, Ashley, I think it's fair to say that your time in the house has had a lot of people talking, but I'm very fair on this show, I'm not biased. It's time for you to have your say in...
Just broke my nail.
Their right to reply to some of the ridiculous allegations and accusations made by their fellow housemates and you at home. So, Ashley, step forward. Here we go. Typewriter, what have you got for me? Oh, look at that. Oh.
All the memories.
Competitive. Viewer at AML3717, what a catchy handle, had this to say about you. Agree with Shane-Elle. Ashley's competitiveness oozes through the screen. So, what have you got to say about that? Are you as competitive as everyone makes out you are?
I'm so competitive, but not in a way. I like to think if you're going to do something, why wouldn't you want to do the best that you can do? That's it. And also, we're in a game and I wanted to be, like, enthusiastic. A task is like getting a text in there.
You're boring me. Go back, you. Malika, step forward. Typewriter, what have you got for me? Tantrums! Your ex-housemate Anne said Malika sometimes throws tantrums that aren't necessary. Do you?
I throw tantrums. I've been a brat my entire life, but at least I own my tantrums.
She owns it! Yes, that's right. Amanda, step forward. Typewriter, what are you saying? Interfere. Your ex-housemate Malika said this about you. She tends to interfere with anything that's going against Anne. I feel like sometimes it belittles people's opinions. Are you an interferer?
I would not say that. I would interfere when I thought it was the right time for anybody.
Oh, shady eye, shady eye. I see that, shady eye. OK, Typewriter, what else we've got? Oh, time is up, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Amanda, Ashley and Malika. That's a lot. to thank you to my guests and our fantastic audience tonight. I'm going to be back on Channel 5 tomorrow, just after 11, for our penultimate bots. Chizzy's going to be here, James Jordan, Myra Dubois, Joe Swatch, and Reverend Cannon and E-Star returns. Until then,